In the real world, Spectera will often need to operate alongside existing legacy gear. This video will delve into how Spectera can successfully and efficiently coexist with traditional narrowband wireless systems. This is a critical topic for professionals managing hybrid environments where both old and new technologies must operate without interference. We'll explore the scientific principles of coexistence, detailed coordination strategies, and real-world test results that demonstrate Spectera's robustness and its ability to be a good neighbor in a populated radio spectrum. First, let's understand the landscape of wireless coexistence. Legacy narrowband analog UHF microphone systems like Evolution G4 series and digital systems such as Digital 6000 operate on fixed, narrow frequencies, typically 200 kHz per audio channel, within the TV UHF spectrum. Each channel requires a dedicated frequency, and meticulous frequency coordination is essential to avoid overlap and interference. The use of non-IM affected systems helps with overall spectral efficiency. In stark contrast, Spectera uses a much wider, contiguous frequency block and transmits multiple audio channels simultaneously. This means Spectera occupies a single, larger coordinated frequency block which must be planned carefully to avoid conflicts with traditional narrowband systems. The typical narrowband approach, with each device getting its dedicated frequency, often creates a need to defend the claimed resource by occupying it, even when not in use. Spectera avoids this by dynamically allocating time slots within its wideband block. To ensure successful coexistence, RF coordinators must strategically allocate spectrum blocks that separate Spectera's wideband carriers from narrowband channels. This involves a disciplined approach of scanning the RF environment, identifying active frequencies, and reserving a clean block for Spectera. There are two ways to think about doing this. First, we can use the Spectera system itself to analyze the spectrum thanks to the inbuilt ability of Spectera to continuously scan and accurately identify available clear spectrum. Spectera's distributed spectrum sensing from the DADs and SEKs provides permanent scan functionality even during operation, reporting detected interference to the operator and allowing dynamic reaction. This, however, is limited to controlling Spectera. If you need to coordinate multiple systems at once, we could also use Soundbase connected to a spectrum analyzer to observe and coordinate all systems connected to Soundbase and active in the space. We could then combine Web UI and Soundbase to give us complete control over the RF space. Either way, we still need to be aware of some rules so we can deploy Spectera successfully with narrowband systems. We must reserve adequate guard bands, clear frequency buffers between Spectera's wideband allocation and any adjacent narrowband systems to prevent interference. While WMAS is highly robust, direct frequency collisions must be avoided. For narrowband systems, guard bands can be substantial. For example, when working with analog IEMs and wireless mics, 12 to 16 MHz is normally recommended. For Spectera, it is highly dependent on the transmit power of the neighboring narrowband systems, and more importantly, the physical proximity of those systems. This is why coordination is key. We must coordinate proactively with other departments, event organizers, or vendors who may also be using RF systems in the same space, and document all frequency assignments and share them with the entire production team to maintain a clear RF plan. Soundbase, again, can be a very useful tool for this, and we cannot recommend it highly enough. While Spectera's OFDM modulation is resistant to interference, a key benefit we covered in video 2, it is still critical to avoid direct frequency overlaps with strong narrowband signals. As a reminder of how Spectera coexists with narrowband systems so reliably, let's quickly go through the key features. Spectera's RF transmit power is spread over an entire broadband channel. Due to the TDMA nature of the system, the power is only emitted by one device at a time. Consequently, Spectera has much lower power spectral density compared to the same number of narrowband devices where RF power adds up with each transmitter. This lower spectral density and power are key for good coexistence and for Spectera to be a good neighbor in a populated radio spectrum. A Spectera device that loses its connection to the base station will stop transmitting after a certain time and seek to re-establish connection. This eliminates the risk of interference from transmitters that are live unintentionally. Mobile devices must be paired with, connected to, and configured on a base station before they transmit. There is no more risk of unintended transmission due to old or preset RF configurations. If interference becomes massive, the RF channel can be changed within seconds. Mobile devices do not need to be paired again and will briefly search and detect the relocated carrier, causing a short audio interruption of a few seconds. However, the exploitation of frequency diversity and advanced signal processing gives Spectera the robustness to continue operation even when narrowband interference appears in its vicinity. Tests have shown Spectera reliably detected the presence of narrowband interferers and suppressed them. We have a great article on this on our website, where 2 RF experts discuss this in more detail. You can find this on our WMAS page. Spectera can and does exist effectively with narrowband systems when proper frequency coordination strategies are applied. By understanding the RF landscape, leveraging Spectera's inherent robustness, utilizing advanced planning tools, and following best practices, you can deploy hybrid systems confidently and effectively, ensuring robust performance for all your wireless audio needs.